Shawn, it almost feels like a lifetime, brother, since the last time I saw you. The beard.
It's yeah, it's maybe just call it me being lazy right now. I'm on vacation, um, taking a week to just recharge after all the craziness over the last little bit of time. So I figured, let it do its thing for a bit. It'll be gone probably in the next week, but
No, man, I was about to say I like the look, man. It
yeah.
definitely suits you.
Oh, maybe I'll hold on to it. I don't know. It's nobody said get rid of it right away, so we'll see how long it maybe potentially lasts.
I hope you hold on to it, man. Look, we're going to talk about a lot of good things going on with you, but before we do that, man, let's talk about the last year and a half because you and I have not had a chance to talk in almost 2 years, I do believe. How have
Yeah.
you been holding up, man, with this whole new world?
The beginning was interesting. I think we were all going a little bit stir crazy, just being stuck indoors a little bit, and um, the Instagram live thing was amazing for so long, and I still love doing it. But I think we just inundated everyone with it, so it was that was good for a little bit. And I mean, most of the time, I think my dogs have loved it because they've never been walked more in their life. They've never had more attention. So I'm worried that when the world kind of fully comes back open, hopefully they don't think it's them. Um, but just hanging out with the fam, doing a lot of little things around the house, and trying to stay in shape and get ready for when things fire up again.
Well, you're looking good, man. So glad to hear that. If there's one thing that you've learned during the pandemic, because one of the things they were, people were saying stuff is you need to learn a skill or something during this
Yeah.
time. What is the one thing that you have learned that you did not have a chance to teach yourself or find out about before the pandemic?
To be completely honest, it's been patience. For me, the silver lining for everything for me has been all the work that we've done, and everything that we've kind of been starting to trickle out in the last couple of weeks. It's been really hard to keep things under wraps for so long and not talk about things and not, back in last year when I did Songland, having to keep that under wraps for 6 months. That was kind of my big lesson from all this. But on top of that, I got pretty good with a few little things around the house. So that was the wife's happy and I'm happy, and it all worked out well.
What is it like though, man, doing those virtual performances when you don't literally see an audience, but you still have to try to give that same great connection energy?
It's tough, but definitely the technology helped us. Like all those, seeing those little comments pop up and seeing that people are there, people are engaged, getting the messages and the notes after the fact from people. Yeah, even though you're not feeding direct energy off it, at least there was a way to know that they were there, and it was nice to know that we're kind of all in the same boat right now, regardless of what's going on. We all still want to, we want to play live music. I want to hear live music, and I just want to hang out with people that love good music. So, it was great to have that ability to do that. I mean, I can't imagine how this would have looked had we not had Zoom and Instagram, and if we were literally stuck with no outlets, it probably would have been a very different 18 months.
I'll tell you something, man. As much as I love Zoom, I should say, as much as I love interviewing you in person, I gotta tell you
Yeah.
something, man. It is great not having to pack up the equipment, head over to wherever, unload it, set everything up, make sure it's going,
Yeah,
do the interview, come back. Man, it is so good to be able to do it this way, connecting with you.
this is
So
true.
I don't think I'm going to
Yeah.
be giving up Zoom too long. Musically,
No.
though, have you changed the way you view or write your songs? Meaning, of course, we had one thought process before the pandemic.
Yeah.
A lot of people changed during the pandemic. Has the
Yeah.
way you write your stories changed or the story subjects changed because of the pandemic?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it will. So I have a thing where I don't really like writing on my own anymore. It's been too I don't give anything a chance when I write on my own. So I've got all of this stuff that I've bottled up for over the last 18 months that I'm ready to start co-writing and doing a bunch of stuff. We're heading down to Nashville in September, and I think now that we can do it more often, I'll be back down there more regularly, and I'm sure it's gonna adjust my writing style. Um, but I'm waiting and excited to open those floodgates to see how it's changed, because right now I've just been um, I've been getting ideas and jotting little things down. But if I actually sit down by myself and try to write something out, it's just, paper in the garbage, paper in the garbage, paper in the garbage. When, I get to work with a team, we can focus on details and focus on things a little bit longer before I'm allowed to throw something out.
Let's
So
talk about that. New
yeah,
team, new record label. What's going on with
yeah,
this?
yeah. New team, new record label. I'm super lucky. So local Hey Now, a joint venture with Big Loud. Normally, when an artist changes a label, you'd think it's because something went bad or someone didn't get along with someone. But in this case, I get to keep my old team and now work with a team that I've been a fan of. I've looked up to, and I've always paid attention to how they run and how they work with their artists. So now to be able to have all the good parts that I've worked with come together, it's pretty amazing. Um, it's an honor to be the first, and they're trusting me to be kind of the first guy on this new joint venture label. But I'm excited, and I'm really looking forward to the potential doors that are going to be open because of it.
Now, I'm assuming this happened during the pandemic, correct?
Yeah, the teams have always been close, and I'd be lying if I said didn't hope something might work out down the road where we could all work together. So this is amazing, and um, we've I knew it was happening for a long time. It took a little longer to do because of the pandemic, but this is what I was saying about patience and keeping things under wraps. When I started to get the little, hints here and there that this might be happening or and that it was happening, and it's like, oh, okay, well, this is going to be really cool, and um, it was really nice to get that announcement out a few weeks ago.
And that's what I want to get into because what did that do for you personally, emotionally, spiritually? Because again, so many tough things were going on with people and,
Yeah.
artists, not being able to get out there and perform and stuff like that. Did that give you that new, resurgence of hope and future?
Instant recharge, like right away. Having just that there's a moment of anxiety when you put out new music or you put out information, but there's such a release too when you do it. Um, and after not early on in the pandemic, us as a team decided that we weren't going to put out anything, um, and just take a minute, step back, drill down on how we operated, and focus on the business side, and then really focus on the songs. And long story short, we got a lot of new music coming, but we took a lot more time on it. So now to have the first track hit the airwaves and get out in the public was it's kind of like you've been underwater for a year, and then you get to come up to the surface, get that big breath of air. And now I feel like I'm back and more excited than ever. And now I'm just waiting for the live show to really come back strong.
Well, to have a live show, we want new music. You do have new
Yeah.
music. What's the new single, my friend? What's it about?
Uh, Tailgate to Heaven. This we got this track early last year. Major writers, Rodney Clausen, Kelly Archer, Will Bundy. These guys are people that I've looked up to for a long time. I haven't got a chance to work with them directly yet, but having one of their songs is amazing. It's it's kind of it's that feel good story about finding that person that you love, and you go up into the middle of nowhere, your favorite place to be, and everything should hopefully just go away, and it's your proverbial tailgate to heaven, right? Um, so I love the way this turned out. We took a long time really trying to get it sounding great, and then after all that happened, through the powers that be, Chris Lane got his ears on it, and we were going to do a different track together. But then he's like, "I love this track. Would you mind if I jumped on?" And we're all like, "Absolutely!" And I think it elevated it. I think it made it a better track, and it's really been a full circle thing for me to have him on one of my songs now, because I've been a fan of his for a long time, and then I got to do a few shows with him back in 2018. So it's it's been a cool kind of the last 3 months, 4 months of it have been a cool thing watching it grow. And now it's out, and now the anxiety's gone because it's been out for a little bit. And now I'm just excited to get on stage and play it.
Now, just curious though, because I've been asking a lot of artists this: was it recorded during COVID? And if so, what were the difficulties? Studios opening, studios closing. You can't go here. You can't come in. You can't come in. Like, what was
Yeah.
going on with that? If it was recorded during COVID?
It was the whole thing. Everything was recorded during COVID, but
Wow.
the power of technology. So I get my Scott Cook, my producer up here, has a studio in his house. So we do all the vocals there, all contained, all nice and isolated. Um, and then everything went down to Nashville, and it took a little longer than normal. Just normally the turnaround's a couple days to a week. So obviously there was backlog, and people were hunting for studio time there. So it was, it took a little bit, not much longer, but 10% longer, let's say. And then once that was done, it gets all sent back to Scott in Vancouver here and just out in Aldergrove. And um, that's kind of how we've always performed sorry, always recorded our stuff. So we didn't really have too much of a change. And like I said, we're lucky to have the technology we do. And but now we're kind of thinking we're going to do most stuff down in Nashville for the next stuff that we have. We got some stuff in the tank that'll be coming soon. So the next stuff will be all in studio in Nashville, back to normal.
I tell you something, man. Who if you remember in the beginning of the pandemic, everybody was running around trying to get toilet paper.
Yeah.
If I had thought about it, if I could have loaded up a bunch of recording equipment and then sold it for home use, I'm telling
Yeah.
you something, man. I'd be a rich man right now because I think, as we speak, everybody has some sort of home recording system right
Yep.
now.
Well, it's a game
Crazy.
changer, and there's some new technologies coming out that allow people to connect their computers, and the everyday um, singer songwriter, recorder, producer, whatever you do, you can now be in a completely different room, thousands of miles away, and live record. It's
Exactly.
amazing what's come out of it. So there's a lot of silver linings to everything, and it's certainly going to change the way this industry operates, but maybe for the better.
Does that silver lining include an EP or an album? Because you were talking about a lot of music.
Yeah, we're. I think I think we'll do EP,
Hmm.
um, just because I want to get stuff out. So if we do full album, we might have to wait a little longer. So it's probably going to be trickled out over the next couple months. There's a lot of big tracks on it that I'm excited about, and I think I've said this to you before. I think as a team we always try to really focus on the live show, and so all the music that we put out not only has to be single worthy for radio, but I really want it to be huge for the stage, and something that hopefully the crowd can really get into in different ways. And um, yeah, it's that's my last piece of patience that I've learned, that this is coming soon, and I just gotta keep it quiet until we're at that, till the day comes.
I can't wait till you write that song, Patience. It's gonna happen.
I think it's on my book, and I got a whole bunch of lines on it, so there might be something there. Yeah.
As we speak, what shows are gonna be coming up for you, man?
Oh, we got a few. We got the Boots and Hearts, all their little kind of making something out of nothing this year. It's going to be fun. That's September 3rd. Then we're playing the Crooks Rapids drive-in show. Oh, sorry, not drive-in anymore. That was big news. The Crooks Rapids show is no longer drive-in, so that's going to be a killer show. That's on the 4th of September, and then we're in Truro, Nova Scotia for Rock the Hub on the 5th of September. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff. We're in Calgary, really supporting Dallas Smith's new charity, Lifted.
Yeah,
So
I spoke
yeah,
with JoJo about that. JoJo Mason
yeah,
about that. It sounds like
yeah.
that's gonna be a blast, especially because people get to be in their hotel rooms watching the show.
It's a cool setup. We did one last year. Kind of, it was almost like a test to see if this method worked. So yeah, it's almost like everyone has their own box.
Yeah.
You go to your room, you've got your beds, washroom, everything. You bring in your drinks, your food. It's a really cool atmosphere. I remember last year they had competitions for best um, decorated balcony. Everyone, it was amazing. You had like a tropical balcony, you had the bar balcony, you had there was the cougar balcony. There was some really funny
I hope the
and
Cougar
creative.
won.
Yeah,
Oh, I
it
would
was
love to
good.
see them.
It was good. So I'm excited. I hope that trend continues, and I think the plan is to try to do, a few of these, and really try to support and elevate Dallas's charity while getting some music back in a way that we can do it without anyone having an issue with. So it's kind of a nice opportunity, and um, another silver lining of the pandemic. Like, it's just everyone got really smart and creative on trying to find ways to make things happen. We're getting there. It's I couldn't be more thankful for having these opportunities. While we're still waiting to get to regular programming.
Of course, the charity raising mental health awareness,
Yeah,
which is, of course, a lot of people have been going through during this
yeah,
pandemic and still going through. But it's people like you with your great music that helps bring people together and bring some joy in their life. So thrilled, man, that you got new music out there. We know we got an EP
thank
that's
you,
going to be
man.
coming out soon. We got
You got
tons
it.
of performances happening. Congrats, my friend. Thank you so much for
Appreciate it.
doing this interview. And I'm looking forward to
Ah,
at
thank
some
you,
point in
man.
time, man, we can do this one on one in
Yeah,
person.
sooner than later. I mean, it feels like we're coming out of it. So hopefully there's no nothing new that pops its ugly head up, and we can get this train rolling.
Keep the beard, man. It looks good on you.
Yeah, I might. I'll credit you if I do.
There you go, man. Thanks a lot for the interview.